Last year I bought my first LaserDisc player, a DVL-700. This is not that story. Growing up, my grandfather had a Pioneer VP-1000 that I watched movies like Star Wars on, among the few titles he had. I had heard he got rid of it and thought, well, I should buy a more capable player like this DVL-700. Since then, we've collected a bunch of LaserDisc movies from thrift shops, record stores, and one or two from eBay. We really enjoyed watching them. And we've got the AC3 audio surround sound set up with a Sony AC3 decoder. So earlier this year, my mom had kind of noticed that I was into LaserDiscs, and the old VP-1000 of my grandfather's turned up. I was told if I want it, I can have it. So all this happened while we were trying to move out of state, and the VP-1000 just kind of sat around collecting dust. Our plan was for it to go in the bedroom and act as a secondary LaserDisc player, just for fun. So this was my first time plugging it in, and decided to test it on the movie Jurassic Park. Here we can see that. So it powers up and the TV goes black, so it's putting out some sort of signal. Now these discs are large, they're 12-inch format, weigh about a half a pound each. But I'm not going to go into the details of LaserDisc, that's been covered by a lot of other videos. This is just how this particular one broke. So it's getting a signal now. And right about the time this shows up, there's a pop. The camera didn't catch it. And then a sizzle. And then the image started fading out real bad. And now the laser's gonna lose the picture. And it comes back and nope, that's it, it's done. So there's a very strong smell of burning electronics. I decided this thing's dead. There's no harm in opening it up. So I tried to remove the top. That wasn't coming off. Gave it a quick Google search. Yeah, there's no information about these things. It seems they were long ago forgotten, and I don't think very many people have them. So then I realized the bottom comes off. And looked around, and the whole thing just smells like burned electronics. I can't tell where this is coming from. Now, I got some video here for anybody that's never seen inside one of these. Really old technology with a lot of wires going everywhere. There's actually fuses on the circuit board that could be replaced. The circuit boards are very large. The components are very large. So right away I was encouraged. This thing is probably going to be relatively easy to fix if I can find what blew up. I'm suspecting a capacitor's blown up, but what do I know? This is probably one of the first large projects like this I've tried to repair. So again, just looking around, here's the back side of the VP-1000 with coaxial RF style connections only. The audio does have RCA jacks, but as far as the video, that's all you get. It's just a cable connection. So I decided to remove all these circuit boards, just kind of trying to separate them, and as odd as it sounds, smell them individually and see where the smell was strongest. Here's a closer look at what those circuit boards look like. So you can see just large components, really spread out, very old. electronic assembly. Now I noticed the smell is further in the back here, and there's some sort of a power supply with white wires that go to the laser, and I wasn't very encouraged that I'd be able to fix it, but this is what it sounds like when you find the source. Yep, that's it. I found it. There's the capacitor after I unsoldered it, and it's swollen up. It's burned. You can kind of see where the plastic was charred. So the one on the right is the one that's really bad, and once I unsoldered them, yeah, they individually smelled burned. So hop on eBay, got some capacitors ordered. I lost the footage from putting in the first 6 capacitors, the larger ones, which were 450 volt 10 microfarad. But that was me soldering in the smaller ones. They were 450 volt 1 microfarad. All in $20 on eBay for some capacitors. Looking through my old footage, after a couple of days I had forgotten where all the screws go. So put it all back together, and I was moderately hopeful. Some of the transistors on that board were questionable, and I didn't know if they needed to be replaced also, but I decided that the damage was bad enough at the capacitors. That was probably it. So finished putting it up together, trying to remember all these screws go, and somehow I ended up, now it rocks. I don't know what I did, but I put the frame together a little bit warped, I guess. Okay, so it's powered back up, and there I go. I plugged it in, just looking for any smoke or anything. I was pretty cautious at this point, and it looks like we got the black signal. So close the LaserDisc in and press play and hope for the best. Well, at this point I'm a little discouraged. I'm not sure what to do. It's taking forever, but let's just keep waiting and see what happens. Not getting any smells. Hey, look at that. We've got a video. And the color is still really bad on this. You can see here the rainbow effect, and that's really what it looked like. That's not an effect of the camera. And then it really desaturates, and it's just borderline black and white, but as I messed with it a little more, there were some colors there when you get to the right scenes, but it's just really, really desaturated. So I'm not sure, there must be something else in there worn out, but at this time it's working. It's just a secondary player, just for fun. It's in the bedroom, you know, probably use it on those days when you're just stuck at home sick or something. So this is a lot better than the first time around. I'd call that a success. I believe it was those capacitors in that power supply. That power supply appears to power up the laser. That would make sense why the image glitched and then went out completely if the laser died. So this is just a look at... Now this player doesn't have auto reverse, or it can't flip to the other side. Most LaserDiscs are two-sided. So with this old player, you have to actually get up, flip the disc by hand, and then you can continue watching the movie. Now the DVL-700, the laser head can actually flip and play the other side of the disc automatically. So you can watch two sides of a disc back to back. So the DVL-700 is a much better LaserDisc player for being in our living room and being our full-time player. Plus it has all the audio features of LaserDisc, and that's what really made LaserDisc popular, was its great audio features, having surround sound and stuff like that. So it looks like it's working now. I've played two sides of the disc, and you can see the green light up there on the left has identified this disc as a continually angular velocity disc, the CAV. So I just decided to play with some more features, see if everything's working. The audio turns on and off with the buttons. Then I played with some slow motion stuff, and that's another feature of LaserDisc, is that you could really pause it and you can play frame by frame, especially on a CAV disc where it doesn't skip back and forth between frames, because one complete revolution of the disc is a frame. So if you pause that laser in one place, you're going to get one solid frame held on the screen. I didn't show it because I'm sure Jurassic Park would cause some issues for YouTube. But that's it. I think I fixed it, and I think I'm going to have a part 2 showing how the DVL-700 works, because I need to open it up and change the belt. So thanks for watching.